Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending the N4Viz SAP Webby Integration in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint webinar today. Really do appreciate your time. I want to introduce myself first off. My name is Warren Koblevet. I'm the Enterprise Account Executive at N4V. And also on the line with us is Dallas Marks. Dallas is our Senior Consultant and Technical Guru. Both Dallas and I will be the voices in your head for the next approximately 45 minutes. We also do have a team in Paris, France, in our head office who are going to be monitoring in the background in case there's any technical challenges and so on. Now, let's talk about our agenda for the day. So introductions. So I've already introduced myself and Dallas. Say hello, Dallas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Again, we also have some folks in our Paris office. So one of the housekeeping items is that we would love you to submit questions via the chat. That way we can record them in this recording, as well as our team in Paris, France is going to be answering those questions, and we're going to keep those questions to the very end and then share them with the larger group. We will be recording this webinar, obviously. We'll be posting it on our resources page of our website. For those of you on the call today, you will be receiving an email with a link to the recording. Shortly after we receive the recording ourselves, we'll be sending that out to you via email. And again, we'll be running approximately 45 minutes today. The next on the list here is N4V for Webby. We want to share with you and review the 4 modules that make up our N4V solution. We're going to be talking about the N4V publisher with some customer use cases. So we'll provide a detailed look at the N4V publisher, which supports HTML exports, image exports, and data exports, as well as sharing 2 customer use cases with you. And then we're going to wrap this up. So here we're going to review what we've presented to you. And at the end, we're going to take a look at those questions and then let you go for the rest of your day. So for those of you who are familiar with our solution, you've probably seen this before and know this information. But for those of you who are net new to who we are, these are our 4 pillars or the 4 modules of our solution. So we have the N4V widget. This is the integration of new data visualization components and navigation features enabling advanced dashboarding in Webby. The maps allows the integration of offline and online maps and custom plans directly into Webby. The N4V analysis is basically an advanced pivot table for in-depth data exploration. And what we're going to be talking about today is the N4V publisher, which is the focus of today's webinar, designed for distribution of information outside of Webby. So as I said, N4V publisher is what we're going to be talking about today. And let me just give you a little bit of an overview as to what this is. So N4V publisher really allows you to export in 3 major ways. First is a responsive HTML export. So if you are pushing to a tablet of some kind or your cell phone, this will be responsive for you. And you can push that HTML5 into a server, into SharePoint, or into FTP. The second way is we're exporting images via PNG file. And the PNG file being able to be consumed by Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. Also destination for you, again, server, SharePoint, or FTP. The third is exporting of data via CSV. And so whether your destination for that is either Excel, Power BI, Click, Tableau, whatever that may be. As again, also being able to push to a server, SharePoint, and an FTP site. But today we're going to talk about N4V Publisher for Office, allowing you to publish Webby reports into Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. So N4V Publisher, let's begin with N4V Publisher in Excel. So basically here you're able to connect business objects report data to Excel and modify and automate those updates. I want to share with you a real customer use case. This is a customer every month in the US needs to reconcile data in SAP Business Objects and Excel and perform complementary analysis. How would you do that? They have an authentication issue with a third-party service, and not all users have access or an account within Business Objects. So the solution is that N4V Publisher makes it easy to export relevant data and distribute it to all necessary users. Now, what's the advantage of that? The advantage is to extend the data accessibility outside of business objects. You're able to have targeted distribution to other BI tools, as I mentioned a moment ago, as well as easy access to that particular data. And I think the best of all, there is no need for additional SAP Business Objects licenses in order to achieve that export. So really what we're doing is the N4V publisher simplifies data access, it automates distribution, and it improves overall productivity. At this point, I want to pass it over to Dallas, who's going to show us an example within an HR department utilizing some of what we just talked about. Dallas.
All right. Well, thank you, Warren. So in today's demos, I am going to play the role of a human resources manager. And if you've been on previous webinars, you've probably seen our human resources dashboard. If not, this is a dashboard built out of N4V for Webby components. And you can see here, we are in Web Intelligence 4.3. And I've got a variety of information here, everything I need to understand my workforce. And I can see the breakdown by where they're physically located. I can tell what department they're in, and I can also see some demographic information. So this dashboard has been configured to publish both HTML as well as PNG and CSV to a file share that I will be accessing as I use Microsoft Office. So my first thing that I want to accomplish is, as an HR manager, is in Microsoft Excel. And in Excel, I have a dashboard that's going to enable me to give salary increases. And so this can potentially be a repetitive task, every year, assessing, what raises we're going to give across the organization. Today, I want to have a very specific task in mind. And so let me show you my Excel model. So in Excel, I have data that's coming in from my N4V for Webby dashboard. I also have data that I've brought in from Excel, namely what employees are currently making. And I have the ability here to do simulations and set different raise levels and see how those will affect the budget. Salaries are confidential, and so this information is not available in Business Objects, but I have brought it into my Excel workbook. And my employees, the only thing I'm revealing here is their ID, which is kind of mysterious, and their current salary. Okay, let me show you how I can bring in data from a CSV file into my Microsoft Excel simulation here. So I'm going to go to data on the ribbon, and I'm going to bring in a CSV file. And this CSV file is on a network share that I have access to. Okay, so there it is. Okay, and specifically, I want to bring in the employee CSV. I'm going to import, and then Microsoft Excel, because it knows this is CSV, it's going to allow me to look at a preview to see that everything's going to come in a nice columnar format, and then I'm going to load it to a specific workbook tab. So I'm going to bring it into my current worksheet. And let me just change that to A1. Okay, so you can see here, just like it was in the dashboard, I'm bringing in all employees, all departments from a CSV file. Well, what if my task was to focus on just a particular department? So I'm going to return to Web Intelligence, and this time I want to look at just the accounting department. So that's going to refresh the Web Intelligence dashboard, and that in turn is going to cause all of my publisher files to be updated. So my HTML, my CSV, my PNG files. So let me go back to Excel, and I'm simply going to refresh the linked data that I have in here. Okay, so you can see that very quickly, I'm able to have just the accounting information by selecting it in Web Intelligence and then refreshing my document. And of course, I could have scheduled my Web Intelligence document as well. Okay, so let me bring you into the business problem that I'm trying to solve today. I'm specifically looking at our engineering department, and I'm specifically focused on remote employees. We would like to give them a salary increase moving into the calendar year 2025 because we realize that it's really, this is the heart of our organization, and we want to make sure that especially our remote employees are properly incentivized. Okay, so I'm looking at engineering information here, and I'm going to go back to web and to my Excel model, and I'm going to refresh. And there we go. So this is just my engineers, only my remote engineers. So let's look at now my model. Okay, so you can see that my model has updated as well. So I'm looking at just my remote engineers. And you can see here that I have a budget of $5 million that I can allocate towards my remote engineers. So I'm going to use the simulation table over on the left. And let me begin by giving the engineering department a 1% raise. Okay, that takes everybody's current salary, it increases it by 1%, and we can see that that is going to use $1.3 million of the $5 million budget. So clearly I've got some more room to go. So I'm going to move this up to 2%, using about half my budget, 3%, almost $4 million. So let's try 3.5%. Okay, so you can see if I put in 3.5% increase for my remote engineers, that's going to use about $4.6 million of the overall $5 million budget. And that's kind of a comfortable limit because it gives me some wiggle room, and I can, if I choose, I can give some of my employees that are really high performers more than the 3.5% that I'm giving everybody else. Okay, so what I've shown here is I've been able to bring in CSV information into an existing Excel model. And just by updating the Web Intelligence document, that changes the updates the CSV file and controls what exactly I want to bring into my model. Now with Excel, I can also bring in PNG files. So I'm going to bring in an image file. And again, this has been exported from the HR dashboard that I showed you. And we have a map. And this map is filtered, and it's going to show me where on a Google map that my remote employees are located. So once again, I'm going to my network share. And there's the folder where my dashboard is putting out the PNG files. And so I'm going to bring in the Google Map PNG. I can insert it or link it. I actually want to do both of those things with insert and link, and that will make this PNG something that can be refreshed in the future, just like the tables are. Okay, so that is bringing in the PNG file from my file share, and I'm just going to make this look a little bit more attractive. And I'm going to line that up with the bar chart that I've created in Excel. Okay, so I've got a model. I've got some preliminary results, and now I can have a really good conversation with the engineering manager, and we can finalize the raises. And I've got a model here that I'll be able to reuse for annual raises for the entire organization, and be able to save a lot of effort hours because I'm not spending a lot of time transposing data. All right, I'm going to pass it back to Warren.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dallas. So let's review what Dallas showed us. So we've taken a Webby report based on the HR dashboard that Dallas showed us and automated the export as a CSV file and integrated into Excel, allowing for seamless integration. You're not seeing that. Now you are. So that was the report that Dallas showed us. Now let's take a look at N4V Publisher with respect to Word and PowerPoint. And so we're able to connect your SAP Business Objects data to Word and PowerPoint and automate the updates. I think that's a key piece here. We're actually automating that update. So let's talk about this use case scenario. So every week, a customer in the construction industry manually updates a 75-page PowerPoint with an average of 2 graphics per page. So that's 150 graphics that are needed to be updated on a weekly basis. PowerPoint is saved in a PDF format to keep track of the progress and ongoing projects. So they use this as a archival solution to check and see what they did a month ago, 3 weeks ago, so on and so forth. So how can we help them? So our solution, N4V Publisher, lets you update graphics by automating the image exports automatically. Page layout, customizations, and options are retained. As well, the fully automated updating process is occurring. So what's the return on investment here for this organization? The return is a time savings. So that person is saving 1 day a week with respect to their role in updating those 75 pages. It helps to eliminate the copy and paste errors. Also, it allows for the team member to focus on more important tasks. As well, there's no need, again, for additional SAP Business Objects licenses in order to do this. So N4V Publisher transforms a laborious manual process into an automated workflow while maintaining optimum presentation quality. So I'm going to pass this over to Dallas one more time to continue his HR demonstration. Dallas.
All right, thank you, Warren. So I'm still in the role of an HR manager, and this is a monthly report that I create every month in Microsoft Word. And before I had a solution like N4V for Webby, I had to go into Business Objects and take screenshots of the different tables and charts that I wanted to include in the report. And I had to repeat that task every month. And so a lot of effort hours there. And what we've been able to do with the N4V solution is insert links to PNG files that are automatically updated by our Web Intelligence dashboard. Okay, so you can recognize, you can see a lot of elements that I have from the Human Resources dashboard. And notice that probably the easiest thing to see here is on the first page, you can see that I'm referring to 928 employees. So, so let's see how easy it is to update this Word document. So I'm going to go over to back to Web Intelligence. And just to make things a little easier to understand, we've changed the colors on the images. So, you never know. Your company may be acquired, and so maybe you have to go in and change all the color palette to reflect that you're new owner. In any case, this is going to make it really easiest for us to see how the Word document gets updated. Okay, so I'm just going to do a Control A and then an F9 to do the refresh. And so this is going to be pulling in new PNGs from my shared network drive. And so you can see that everything has turned orange and the numbers have indeed updated. So all I have to do now, I've saved, like I said, many effort hours of work, and now there just might be a few spots in the narrative where I'm referring to numbers that are in the dashboard objects. So I'll dust this off and make a few changes, and then this monthly human resources report is ready to go out to all the shareholders that receive this. Now, me sending out this Word document is a prelude to the PowerPoint presentation that I share with the executive team also on a monthly basis. So let's take a look at that as well. So this is my monthly report in PowerPoint, and we have linked PNGs generated from Web Intelligence into our PowerPoint solution. And again, they're just regular PNGs, so we can use all the cool tricks that PowerPoint has. We've made some of the images three-dimensional to make them a little bit more attractive. And you've already seen me update the dashboard with the orange information. So I'm simply going to click refresh. Okay, and all my objects are linked successfully. Now, how was I able to achieve this? You'll notice that on my H pyramid slide here, it doesn't have an image. So what if I need to make modifications to my presentation over time? Let me show you how easy it is to integrate a new image. So I'm going to go into my PowerPoint slide, and just like I did in the Excel document, I'm going to bring in a picture from this device. I'm going to go out to my shared drive, and this time I want to bring in the age pyramid. And I want to be sure to do an insert and a link. And so that's going to ensure that that is a live object. And that's all there is to it. I have, in just few mouse clicks, I've added new content to my PowerPoint presentation, and it'll be as easily refreshed next month when it's time to update the presentation again. Now, what we've also been able to include in the PowerPoint is we've made these images hyperlinks to our HTML5 export. So in the same folder where I'm exporting the PNGs and the CSVs, I'm also exporting HTML5 that's been generated using N4Viz. So this is a capability that I can't do with Web Intelligence by itself. So, and I can look at this static PowerPoint presentation, and I can click on a hyperlink, and this is going to take me to HTML. And so you can see here, I've got exact fidelity in between what I was looking at in PowerPoint, but now, unlike an image, which is static, this is HTML and it's interactive. So depending on the N4Viz widget that I'm using, definitely have tooltips. This is our drill bar, and so that means that I can look by state at my employees, and I can drill down with just a simple click. And this is completely disconnected from the Business Objects platform at this point. It's pure HTML5. The data needed to empower it is embedded in the HTML5. And so with very snappy response, I'm able to take this beyond what's in the PowerPoint, and I can look at interactive widgets and actually dig some more into the data. Okay, we can see that again with the Google map. So I'm just going to click on the hyperlink, and once again, you can see that we've got great fidelity between what we're looking at in the PowerPoint that I just sent out And now an executive, if they want to, with a simple click, they can look at the information. And this is a live Google map. And so once again, all the data that's needed to drive this, it's completely disconnected from business objects. And so I can come in and interact with it. So for example, if I have a question and I want to know the distance that my remote employees in Muncie, Indiana, how long is it going to take them to drive to our Cleveland headquarters, should we ever ask them to do that? And you can see that it's going to take them about 4 hours and 24 minutes to get to the office by driving. If we ask them to bicycle, it's going to take them a day and 4 hours. So definitely we've got people in Muncie that really appreciate the fact that we've allowed them to be remote. And hey, they're getting at least a 3.5% raise moving into the new year. All right, this interactivity also is present if I save this dashboard as a PDF file. Okay, so I'm going to save as a PDF. Change the extension here. And want some more options. And I want to open the file after publishing. Okay, so I'm saving the PDF for posterity. And like Warren mentioned in the use case, we have a customer that saves the PDF version every month and they archive it for historical reasons. It always gives them a snapshot in time to go back to and see what the project status was at that time. Okay, so now I'm in Adobe Reader. And once again, I'm still able to, from a PDF file, as an executive, I can go in and interact with the drill bar component, for example. And if I can answer some different questions, like what kind of remote employees do we have in the state of Kentucky? And I can also launch the HTML version of the Google Map. And this is exactly the same URL or bookmark that you saw earlier when I was in native PowerPoint. Once again, I'm going to live HTML and a live Google Map. And I can take advantage of all the interactivity that's there. So once again, through this power of automatically generating these document formats and being able to easily refresh them into Microsoft Office, really saving a lot of man hours, effort hours for what would otherwise be hours and hours of cutting and pasting every month. All right, with that, I'm going to send this back to Warren again.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dallas. So let's review what Dallas showed us. From a Webby dashboard, we have automated an HTML and PNG export. We then, there we go. We then integrated these components within Word and PowerPoint. When you update the data within the Webby report, it automatically updates the graphics and data within Word and PowerPoint. As well, Dallas showed us with the maps that you can integrate HTML links, such as those maps. Very powerful feature. So in short, let's talk about what Publisher lets you do. But first, this is a real alternative to LiveOffice. There's no additional configuration or installation that was needed within Microsoft Office to have this functionality that Dallas has shown you today. There are substantial savings on licenses, so no need to purchase additional SAP Business Objects licenses. Simplified distribution, rapid, targeted distribution to other BI tools, if that's what you need it to do, as well as broader accessibility. So share the data with users without an SAP Business Objects account. Automation of repetitive tasks, so eliminate the tedious manual processes and to save considerable time. Consistent quality, maintain optimal layout for presentation standards, optimized productivity, free up time for higher value added tasks as per our use case, as well as we're reducing the errors. So eliminate errors associated with manual cut and paste. So for our clients, those of you who are currently using our solution, N4V Publisher adds value to your current Webby usage by enabling HTML, PNG, and CSV exports. For our future clients, we hope that we, with this webinar, have demonstrated how our solution can enhance your business objects experience by making it more powerful BI tool. So let's talk about this slide just one more time. I know that you saw it in the beginning, but just want to talk about it so that you understand our 4 components really well. So again, we have the N4V widgets. This is the integrates new data visualization components and navigation features, enabling advanced dashboarding in Webby. The maps, which allows the integration of offline and online maps and custom plans directly into Webby. Our N4V analysis, which is an advanced pivot table for in-depth data exploration. And the N4V publisher, which is what we talked about today, the focus of our webinar, designed for distribution of information outside of Webby. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over and see if there are any questions that we have been able to get from the chat from all of you. Again, if you do have questions, feel free to submit them via the chat. So Alan has asked, I have several colleagues that were not able to make it and are requesting a recording. Will that be made available? Yes, Alan, we're going to be publishing this on our website right after, as well as you'll receive a link to it as well. Any other questions that we have? Can't business objects do that export? What's different? Dallas, would you like to try and explain that?
Oh, I'd love to explain that. So
I knew you would.
So what Web Intelligence is able to do on its own is either interactively or via its really powerful scheduling, you can certainly generate documents. You can generate Excel, you can generate PDF, all those things. What you cannot do is generate live information. And so what I hope you take away today is that we're able to, with CSV and with PNG, just a very simple refresh in our Office applications, we're able to bring in the latest and greatest information. Beyond that, the real game changer with our solution is the HTML export. So you're not just taking somebody to a picture of the latest data, you're taking them to an HTML5 based widget that is interactive, it's fluid, and it has all of the same responsiveness in HTML5 that it had in Web Intelligence. So if it's a drill down component, if it has filters on it, if you can change the date, all of those things that are available in our Need for Viz widgets, those are available in HTML5. And the HTML5 is warn indicated, does not require access to business objects. It doesn't require a license. And what's really game changing about it is that anyone who has access to the HTML5, whether they're at their desktop, whether they're on a tablet, whether they're on a mobile phone, they're going to see HTML that's responsive and it's up to the minute. And so that is definitely capabilities that Web Intelligence can only accomplish if it's been coupled with N4V for Webby.
Fantastic. Dallas, another question. Can't business objects do that export? What's the difference? Oh, sorry, that was our other question. Yes, no, there we go.
Yep.
Does N4V Publisher come with the N4V for Webby suite as a standard?
Yes, it does. And so these there are different editions of N4V for Webby, but for the sake of today's conversation, the suite includes all 4 capabilities. So an awesome set of interactive data visualizations, some really amazing data analysis capabilities from within Webby, and the online and offline mapping that you saw today in Google Maps, and then finally the publisher capability. So all of that is included in available in the suite.
So part two to that, Dallas, is this feature limited to a specific Webby version?
Yes, it's limited to all versions that you care about. So there's one version of the N4V for Webby install, and it currently works with BI 4.2 and 4.3. I assume most of you are probably by now on BI 4.3 because BI 4.2 will be dropping out of extended support here in just a few short weeks. And we've already got BI 2025 working with our solution in the lab. So it's one install. It works across all versions. And what you've seen today is something that you can begin to use today, regardless of what version of Business Objects you're on or what version of Business Objects you intend to move to in the future.
Fantastic, thank you. The HTML export, another question here. What is the difference to an interactive report in terms of filtering? And so on. Is filtering also possible in the depth in the HTML file?
So there's parity between the interactivity that you see with the N4V for Webby components in Web Intelligence, and there's complete parity with what is exported as HTML5. So, in the example of the drill bar that we showed you today, you were able to navigate, from state to city, for example, and so that same interactivity that you designed into the Web Intelligence report is available in the HTML5.
Fantastic. Are there any more questions? I don't believe that there are. Are the HTML5 exports responsive?
Yes. Yes, the HTML export can be fully responsive. And if you're not familiar with the term responsive, that means that as you move from a desktop to an iPad tablet to a mobile device, for example, that the HTML is already going to reformat itself automatically without any intervention from the user to look the best on the device. So obviously on a desktop, you've got lots of real estate. Sometimes on a tablet, things need to get rearranged a little bit. And usually when you get down to something around the size of an iPhone, regardless, of how many objects you're seeing on the screen simultaneously, it usually gets turned into a series of objects that the user can scroll down through. But again, it's true fidelity. All the information is there. All the interactivity is there.
I think maybe we have one more. Let's see. You actually see one more in the chat here. Let me just ask this question. Is it possible to schedule a multiple generation like a publication in Business Objects?
Yeah. I'd like to, Jerome or Emmanuel, would one of you like to talk about publications?
Yes, thank you, Dallas. Yes, so you can of course schedule your publisher of your export HTML, CSV, or PNG, and to put them in a publication. And if there is if there are filters, then they will be applied to each of the individual that should receive the accurate data. So if it's the question, more generally, all that is available in the Webby report and the capability around Webby are still working with N4V.
Great.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
These are great questions, by the way. I'm glad to see that you're thinking through and seeing just what kinds of interesting problems that we're able to solve.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we are at time, I'm going to be taking control back here again. I do want to just, on behalf of the team, we would like to thank you for your attention and attending our webinar today. As a reminder, we'll be posting this webinar to our resource page on our website. For those of you here today, we'll be sending you this link after we're finished. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to us. My contact information is on the screen. Dallas's contact information is on the screen. And we do want to thank everyone for your attention and attending today. And we want to wish you a happy rest of your day. Thanks very much, everybody.